This is the arch and flatten exercise, also known as COGS. It's an extension of the breathing exercise in that we're using the breath to regulate the speed and intensity of the movement, but we're really going to focus on the relationship between the pelvis and the ribs. So it's called COGS because it's sort of like mechanical cogs that work in opposition. So the pelvis is one cog and the ribs are another, and as we inhale, it forces the pelvis to rotate sort of down and forward. And because of the relationship between the pelvis and the ribs and their connection through the spine, you're going to see an opposite motion in the ribs. So as the belly expands, belly is from this finger to this finger, as that expands on the inhale, we're going to see this opposition as we create a slight arch in the low back. So in my neutral position, I can't really fit my hand under my low back, but as I inhale and expand, and as the pelvis rolls forward and the ribs extend back, I'm creating a good bit of space under my low back, which is going to sort of contract the muscles of the low back. And we're going to pause, same as the breathing exercise, and then exhale. And again, we really want to emphasize the exhalation and the lengthening of the diaphragm. And this is going to couple with a flattening down into the table or into the ground or chair, whatever your position is. So as we inhale, we have this opening, and as we exhale, we have this closing at the front, but an opening at the back. So we're going to lengthen the muscles of the low back and give them a nice gentle stretch. So you're setting up again, eyes looking forward, lips sealed, tongue to the roof of your mouth, jaw relaxed, so you shouldn't be clenching your teeth, and just a gentle inhale, exhale through the nose, making sure to pause in between. And this time we're just going to try and emphasize this rocking forward of the pelvis. So you can place your hands on the front of your pelvis. There's a bone roughly where your pocket would be, sort of a pocket here, and there's this bone here that's at the front of the pelvis. If you put your little finger there and then your thumb on the bottom of your ribs, this will give you a nice bit of feedback of how, when you inhale, these 2 points ideally should be moving apart, they should be expanding. So this is a nice thing to pay attention to as you begin to inhale and exhale gently through the nose. And if you're struggling to get a bit of this rocking forward and back, you can bend the knees. It makes it a bit easier to rock on the pelvis, particularly on the rock back. So you can inhale, roll forward, pause, and as you exhale, you can sort of try and drive through the heels a bit, almost like the beginning of a hip bridge. You're sort of trying to feed through your heels up into the pelvis and roll and try and flatten this space. What you can do as well is get a pencil or a pen, place it under the low back, and as you exhale it gives you a bit of feedback, something that you push into, so you have good feedback there. So just to run through the exercise, it's going to be It should never be strained, you shouldn't be forcing anything. It's very much about quality of movement and control. So don't rush through it, rocking back and forth. Really look to move smoothly and feel that relationship, feel yourself roll forward with the pelvis and how that sort of flares the ribs naturally without any effort. And then as you try to flatten the pelvis and the low back into the table, how that's going to depress the ribs as well. So pick one focal point. I find the pelvis is usually the easiest because it has sort of a bowl shape, so it is easy enough to roll back and forth, but you can focus on the ribs if you want, or you can focus on the low back, but give that a try.